everybody, this is Perch. One of the things that has remained remarkably consistent over several decades in comics is how the publishers promote new characters, usually with quite a bit of optimism and some wording that is designed to hope that you are tricked. I don't mean that in a super negative way. It's just if you even go back to the 70s when they were introducing new characters, the publishers would often do so in a manner, somewhat like, "Hey, here's the newest sensation, the most popular character ever, and they're guest starring in Spider-Man. Here they come." And you'd see these kind of clever blurbs with this kind of wording. And today, I think if you look back at those covers, almost everyone can immediately spot it as kind of advertising, wishful thinking, not real. I mean, nobody was fooled that these characters are actually the most popular, the brand new your favorite character is here today kind of thing. That it's clear marketing, it's clear advertising. But the publishers are really still doing the same thing today. It's remarkable, and I just came across this list of who are the most popular kind of female superheroes, who are the most popular ones, and it was striking to me because on one hand, I think they got some parts of it right. One of the most popular heroes, I think number two. I'm trying to remember who was number one now, but number two was number one was Wonder Woman, of course. Not that she's up there. I mean, she's definitely in that area. The movie helped there. And I think number two was Storm. And I think that is a good pick. That was the top Marvel female superhero. And I think that's probably close or more or less accurate. But then when you went further down on that list, you'd have things like Captain Marvel. And then the text is what got me. The text for Captain Marvel was, arguably the most recognizable female superhero in the world. Captain Marvel has been one of Marvel's most popular female superheroes for over 30 years. And, there's no part of that that's true. And I say that not as like one of those people who hate Captain Marvel. I'm not a person who hates Captain Marvel. I've read some good Captain Marvel stories. I've read some bad Captain Marvel stories. Same can be true of lots of places. She's not my favorite character, but that's kind of the point. She's really nobody's favorite character. There are some people who like Captain Marvel, but I think that if you did a honest survey and you said, who do we like better, Storm or Captain Marvel? I think Storm is winning that pretty handily. I think Miss Marvel would beat Captain Marvel. I think, I think Black Widow would beat Captain Marvel. I think there's lots. I think if you open it up further and had like Rogue and Jean Grey, I think they're probably beating Captain Marvel, and Jean Grey's been dead for at least half that time. It's one of those things where what caught me was been one of Marvel's most popular characters for over 3 decades. I think the one argument you can make for Captain Marvel is that yes, she was in a movie that made over $1 billion, and that is a big deal, and that is financially for Hollywood. That's that's significant, very significant. Of course, Captain Marvel's box office was not based on Captain Marvel alone. It was based on the continual kind of build up to the MCU in general, the kind of rabid fan interest between Endgame and Infinity War. And that's not to say that some people could take that part and go, nobody likes Captain Marvel. No, people like Captain Marvel. Definitely, the litmus test for me kind of always is you go out for Halloween, and what are the kids dressed in? And I look at the kids from my daughter's school, and there's a handful of them that are dressed up like Captain Marvel. There were more dressed up like Black Widow last year. But anyway, it's absolutely untrue to say nobody likes Captain Marvel. People definitely do, but not one of the most popular characters. However, Marvel has been using the same technique that they used in the 70s and the 80s and kind of these other eras to kind of want this character to be huge. Now, here comes the more interesting question. Why does Marvel want Captain Marvel to be big? Well, I think part of it's in the name. I think there's a brand marketing person at Marvel Comics who's like, it would be nice if we had a Mr. Marvel and a Captain Marvel, and this could be the showcase of our company because the name is Marvel. I mean, some of you may be rolling your eyes right now, but don't mistake. That's how a lot of brand marketing people think. They're like, we get Marvel in the name, and we're Marvel the comics company, so that clearly is our showcase character. Yeah, that's how people think. Um, but it is peculiar to me because, in general, most companies struggle to get concepts, characters, brands, and things over. If you're a movie company and you're coming out with a brand new movie, you're putting heavy amounts of money into trying to promote, that this is a deal, this is a big thing. When John Wick came out as a movie, there was a lot of marketing money spent to, like, look how cool Keanu Reeves is, and he kills people, and John Wick is a big deal. Like, they need to get over the idea of John Wick. But Marvel Comics doesn't have this problem. They have, truthfully, 6 decades plus of characters. They're many very popular, very recognizable characters. And the question mark for me always becomes, why don't they go with what's naturally happening, in the sense that Storm has a lot of support, has a lot of people that like Storm. Black Widow has a lot of people that like Black Widow. What's wrong with Storm? What's wrong with pushing Storm? Now, Marvel supposedly is about to make up for this, and Storm's going to have a really big second half of the year, and is going to be a major character for the X-Men. That's what they keep telling us. Hopefully it's true. But it is peculiar why Marvel would invest so much money into a character that has had much more of a struggle than others. Now, one answer to this, just to be honest about it, is that Fox had the rights to Storm for quite some time, and that was going to be an issue, and everything else. The argument against Black Widow is a little bit more puzzling, since Marvel did have the rights to Black Widow. But at least from what I've been told from people who work at Marvel, is Black Widow is not powerful. She's a super spy. She's got, some level of enhanced spy abilities, but she can't blow up planets and fly around, and she can't stand toe to toe with Thor. If you're going to have Thor fight Black Widow, Thor's going to destroy Black Widow. You might question why is Thor fighting Black Widow in the first place. That's kind of a weird matchup, but whatever. So they really needed somebody stronger. They needed a female character who was going to really be powerful and could hold her own with the guys. And so thus Captain Marvel kind of enters the picture. It still is a little puzzling, because I think at the time that Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, was making the transition to Captain Marvel, there were a lot of other characters in Marvel. Now I'm getting tongue tied. Marvel stable that probably were already more popular. You could have put a push behind them, and they would have done better. I think She-Hulk probably was more popular at the time. I think she had held down fairly successful comic runs. The Wasp, not as much, but probably a little bit more recognition, at least within comics, than Captain Marvel. I mean, some people may shake their head at me, but frankly, I think there was more indication that Miss Marvel had more going for her in the first year of that series' career than Captain Marvel did at the time. And you could have just gone all in on Kamala and done that. I mean, I guess she can't blow up planets, but she can, stretch her arms to make really big fists. So that's something. But overall, I think what's funny to me is that people complain today that the big comic publishers are pushing characters nobody wants. Well, if we're being truthful about it, the big publishers have pushed characters maybe nobody wanted for forever. Like, this isn't a new phenomenon. This is something that this is very, as I say, this is very on brand for the comic publishers. They tend to they tend to try and market, and the way that traditional comic marketing has been is, if you just tell people something is popular, a lot of people will go along with it. This is a very kind of 1920s through 1940s kind of mentality. That's how marketing and advertising worked. It was like, hey, you want some toothpaste? Here's your toothpaste. This is the toothpaste for you. All the popular people are using this toothpaste, and you want to be popular, don't you? You big dope. have this toothpaste. That's kind of how advertising worked. And so it's kind of charming in a way that, you're seeing current lists of characters and you're seeing Marvel kind of promote stuff. It's like Captain Marvel, the most popular female superhero of all time, is Captain Marvel right here. This is what it is, dummy. I don't know why you'd say it's anything else. It's clearly Captain Marvel. Like everybody said Captain Marvel. You'd be more popular forever. It's that, if we say it loud enough and forceful enough, then people will just kind of go along with it, and that's what it will be. That's what it will be. But I do find it kind of funny because there definitely have been plenty of characters over the years that fans are supportive of, want to see more of. I mean, it's puzzling. It's kind of puzzling. Marvel hasn't actually tried a Storm ongoing series. I mean, they've tried almost every, like, we've seen Iceman, we've seen Jean Grey, we saw a Cyclops series for a period of time. We've seen lots of characters make their attempts. Gambit had a series for a while, but Storm, I think we got a limited series out of Storm. We've gotten some every now and then, but she's been a popular character since the late '80s. I mean, like, they took away her powers, and she was quite popular at the time. It was always kind of puzzling that they didn't try more there, but yeah, well, this is comics. Anyway, do you notice this? I guess I'm trying to make a couple points in this video. Number one, that this tactic is not new. It's actually been going on forever. A lot of people are saying, oh, now the company's wanting to promote, this diversity thing, that diversity thing. But it's like they've tried to put stuff over forever that actually wasn't popular. That's number one. And then second, it's don't shouldn't they have tried with somebody else? I get the Fox connection with the character rights, but like, yeah, they could have had a much easier road than this. My observation. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.